This week's top five is the top five greatest. We're going to stick with the NFL undrafted players of all time. Top five best undrafted players of all time in the NFL. We're sticking with the NFL draft for another week, and here we go.
Ready.
So, what is an undrafted player? An undrafted player is somebody that goes through the draft and doesn't even get Mr. Irrelevant. Basically goes undrafted. Teams do this all the time. They're always still looking for players. They'll invite players to camp, and a lot of times those players have to now fight against all of your draft picks. They say in the NFL, if you get drafted in the fifth, sixth, or seventh round, you have about a 2% chance of making an NFL roster. That's how tough it is. That's how getting drafted is only the beginning of the journey. A lot of players still don't get picked up. If you're drafted in the third or fourth round, you have a better chance sometimes of maybe getting the practice squad or being low on the depth chart going into the regular season. But you might still make a 53-man roster. First or second round players are usually the ones that are definitely on the roster. They're definitely getting a decent contract, so on and so forth.
For at
So,
least a couple of
first,
years.
what's that?
For at least a couple of years,
Sure. First, second,
unless they're a
third, and
bust.
fourth round are usually your players that are going to make the NFL roster. Guys like Brock Purdy are very, very rare, as well as these players who have went undrafted at all. So with that, we're going to start with number five. Steve, what is your number five?
Arian Foster,
Arian Foster
Houston Texans,
from the Houston Texans. That's a okay. Wow. How long ago was that?
2014,
2014. What position? Like, go ahead and
running
give us
back.
the rundown on it.
All right. He was the running back. Arian Foster. He was undrafted. He
Yep.
played for Houston and the Dolphins for one season. It was only 6 seasons, but he did very well. He got three Pro Bowls.
Yep. Great
He
player.
was, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Number five. Brandon, what is your number five?
My number five is Joe Jacoby, off tackle from 1981 with the Redskins.
Okay.
He helped them win three Super Bowls. He was part of the all-decade team in the 80s.
Awesome. Yeah, great player. Love the old school stuff. I think you guys will like my number five. It's one of my favorite all-time players. This guy was a lunatic. Nick, what is your number five?
Going back to 2003, when
Yep.
Antonio Gates was not drafted because he
Yep.
played basketball at Kent
Basketball.
State.
Yep. He's on my list too. That's a great number five, man. Great number five. My number five, boys, is Dick Night Train Lane. Okay. This guy is why the forearm shiver is illegal. In 1952, he set the NFL rookie record with 14 interceptions that still stands to this day. 1952, folks, is before the Super Bowl era. But Dick Night Train Lane, I implore you to get online, get on YouTube, and search for Dick Night Train Lane. This dude was a monster, and this was at a time in the NFL when there really wasn't any rules about hitting receivers across the middle. The passing game wasn't huge. If you came across the middle against Dick Night Train Lane, you might not be alive anymore.
You were getting punished. I was watching
Anyway,
some of those
that's
videos actually when
oh,
because he
dude,
came up on my list.
they're so great. They're so great. Yeah, literally, folks. Forearm shiver, Dick Night Train Lane. All right, Steve, number four.
Doug Baldwin,
Doug
Seattle
Baldwin.
Seahawks.
Okay. Yeah, great receiver, right?
I can't believe that he was not drafted when I looked
Wait,
that up.
here's the thing. When you look at this stuff, it shows you like how many great players were undrafted or drafted in the seventh round or sixth round. Tom Brady, 199th overall. It's like it just shows you that these things get missed, scouts get missed. Or remember, these kids are like what, 21, 22 that are getting drafted. It's like work ethic is huge. Like, how are these
Yeah.
guys going to mature? Not just their work ethic in general, but when people mature as a person, their bodies, they get better. They can, turn into
In
studs.
contrast to how we, last week's of the people that busted,
Right.
You have these ones who didn't even make the draft,
Right.
and a lot of them are, Super Bowl winners or
Right.
all-star players.
Yeah, absolutely. Right on, man. Great number four. Brandon, trainer. What is number four, buddy?
My number four, already said, was Antonio Gates.
Antonio
Over
Gates.
10,000
Awesome.
yards, over 100 touchdowns. Amazing
Awesome.
player.
Love it. Nick, number four.
Number four, undrafted in 1978, quarterback Warren Moon.
That's a great one. Yeah,
He had
I love that.
291 touchdowns that he threw, and he ran for 22 before a mobile quarterback was even a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was the
remember.
original mobile quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He got started too in the CFL.
For 6 years.
He said, okay, yeah, because he didn't get drafted and he went to the CFL and was a legend in the CFL. I mean, yeah, maybe the greatest quarterback ever in the CFL. So, anyway, great number four. So, my number four, and I'm going to put this on the list because he is the NFL's all time leading scorer, period. I know kickers don't always get drafted, okay, but he was undrafted, won a couple of Super Bowls, should have been a Super Bowl MVP. Um, and the greatest kicker of all time is Adam Vinatieri. A lot of
Undrafted
kickers,
Vinatieri.
great kickers, do get drafted. We've seen it. Some get drafted in the first round. We've talked about that. So Adam Vinatieri, though, is the NFL's all-time leading scorer, and that's why he made my list. And this guy was lights out clutch. He won two Super Bowls for the Pats against the Rams. That was Vinatieri. Against Carolina Panthers. That was Vinatieri. So that's why Vinatieri's on my list. Okay, Steve, number three.
It was already said. It was Warren Moon.
Awesome. Brandon, number three.
My number three is Cornell Green, deep back from 1962 with the Cowboys.
Wow.
Yeah,
Great.
they had 34 interceptions, and it was part of the first Cowboys team to win the championship.
Love that. Love that pick because he made a serious impact in the NFL. Love those types of picks. Great, great number three, Brandon. Nick, number three.
Number three, 1990, undrafted John Randall. You may have heard of him from
It's
undrafted to Hall of
yeah.
Famer.
Yep. That's
Seven-time
also
Pro
incredible.
Bowl,
Yep.
six-time first team All Pro, and then he got inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2010.
Yep. One of the the face paint from Randall
Yeah,
was
dude.
always just like, God, I would not want to line up against that guy and try to stop him from getting to my quarterback. John Randall was, again, folks, he played for the Vikings. Yeah, dude, just an absolute monster. So, okay, so my number three is also Warren Moon. Okay, we've said this now. Three people had him on our list. Here's why Warren Moon. Okay, he didn't just not get drafted; he didn't even get a phone call, man, afterwards. So instead
He
of
left the
being
country.
instead of being a martyr or getting down or boo-hoo, that kid went to work. He went to work, became a CFL Hall of Famer. Okay, and then comes into the NFL and was just a God great. I remember seeing a video of him when he was with the Houston Oilers, and it was when they started miking players up, and he's just yelling off to the sideline. He's like, "Let me get in a rhythm. Let me get in a rhythm." It just then says, "Stop calling plays. Let me get in a rhythm. Let me get in a rhythm," and then would go out and get in a rhythm. Like Warren Moon was just incredible. Now, Warren Moon was also on the receiving end of possibly one of the most embarrassing collapses in NFL playoff history. And on the other side, turned out to be one of the greatest comebacks in NFL playoff history when the Buffalo Bills came back from 35-3 down to win. It was like, oh, Warren, what
Yeah.
are you guys doing? And it wasn't even Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Steve, number two, buddy.
We were talking about one that you didn't want to, that you were afraid to stare down. James Harrison,
Oh, yep, another one.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
The work
Undrafted.
ethic
I didn't
on
realize
that
that.
monster was insane.
Yes. I mean, he
Yep.
was up until just a few years ago. I mean, he was known as the guy you didn't want, the linebacker you didn't want to see.
No. And honestly, guys, Folks, if you want to see one of the greatest SNL spoofs of all time, go to YouTube again. After you're done looking at after you're done looking at Full Strength Podcast YouTube channel and subscribing, go to your search bar, look up the James Harrison SNL spoof. It's one of the most hilarious things. It was after he made the 99-yard interception return, or maybe it was 100 yards interception return against the Arizona Cardinals in that Super Bowl, and made it all the way to the end zone. The spoof of this is just hysterical. They did it on Weekend Update, and it was like he's still got his oxygen on. He says, "I saw Jesus, and Jesus said to me, 'James, are you ready?' And he said, 'Yep.'" Just hilarious. So, anyway,
I'll have to watch
great
that.
number two. Yeah, oh, dude, look it up. Brandon, number two.
My number two is got up there partially because of nostalgia.
Yeah,
Earliest game I can ever remember watching was an Oilers game. Warren Moon at quarterback, so his name
yeah,
has
man.
always
Yep.
been deep in my subconscious.
Yeah, man.
Always
Love.
there, so it's Warren Moon number two.
Yep. Warren Moon. It just a great player, man. Just a great player. Him and Randall Cunningham were in the same era, and they were great. But
Beasts.
Cunningham obviously went to Philadelphia and got drafted. But anyway, Nick, what's your number two best NFL undrafted player of all time?
Number two, Night Train Lane. Already been said.
Yeah.
But I will say that he
Is it because he
bypassed the
played for the
NFL
Bears?
draft. Huh?
Is it because he played for the Bears?
I'm just saying that if I was going to say my smart ass comment was that he bypassed the NFL draft because he entered the Army draft. That's why he didn't go.
Hold on, is that legit? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
He
a
served in the
great
Army.
fact.
That's why he didn't enter the draft.
Oh my God, man. I apologize. Dick Night Train Lane is everybody's number one. Wow. That's a great thanks, Nick, for that little tidbit, folks. That's brought to you by Nick Brown. That's awesome, man. I missed that as well. Like that's pretty incredible. I should have gone on Wikipedia. I just knew that he was undrafted. I should have looked up a little bit more, but what a great fact by Nick Brown, folks. That is absolutely awesome. So yeah, Dick Night Train Lane. So either way, he was undrafted, and that makes him an even better, just I don't know, human being, in my opinion. So that's awesome, dude. That is absolutely incredible. Wow.
Do you think we all have the same number one?
Yes, I think we do.
Yeah, I do
I think
too.
we do.
I do. My number two is going to be Antonio Gates. Played for the San Diego Chargers. Listen, Antonio Gates and Philip Rivers were like one of the greatest combos during that like 3, 4, 5 year period. The fact that that Chargers team never won a Super Bowl is just one of those things that's like, man, that
Unfortunate.
team really just as they got so close so many times. They had LaDainian Tomlinson, man. Like that team was they went 13-3, 14-2. Like they were just legit for
The
so many
tight
years.
end.
Antonio Gates,
He was so good.
like he's not even mentioned in the likes of Tony Gonzalez, Travis Kelsey, and
Witten.
or yeah, who am I thinking of from the 49ers right now? And I'm drawing a total fucking blank.
Davis.
Vernon
Isn't it Vernon
Davis?
Davis?
No, the 49ers current tight end right now, dude.
Oh, current.
George Kittle.
Kittle,
So
yeah.
it's kind of embarrassing that we don't ever mention Antonio Gates and what he did. Like his numbers were massive. So what tight ends are doing today, like really Antonio Gates was kind of at the forefront of that, being like a really like you could use him as a wideout. So anyway, Antonio Gates is my number two. Steve, go ahead. Number one.
Kurt Warner.
Yeah, mine's Kurt Warner. Nick's is Kurt Warner.
Warner.
Brandon's is probably Kurt Warner.
No, it isn't.
Okay, so we'll just do Kurt Warner. So listen, here's the thing. Yeah, number one, he like two-time MVP, Super
Two
Bowl
different teams.
MVP, two different teams he won and took to the Super Bowl. Let's talk about Kurt Warner for a second before we get to Brandon's number one. Here's the thing, dude. The guy was homeless, bagging groceries, trying to play in the Arena Football League, trying to play anywhere that he could. literally homeless, trying to raise a family, bagging groceries one day, and then gets an arena football league deal that all they do is basically pay those guys on incentives. Like he was having a hard time keeping the heat on in his house. If he had a bad game, he didn't get played. Then ends up on the Rams. The offensive coordinator like hates him,
Hates him.
hated him. Dude never gave up.
No, I
In
mean,
my
if it
opinion,
wasn't
it's not just the greatest undrafted player, but it's one of the greatest stories in NFL history. And I take that back, in sports history.
rags to riches type of thing.
Like his story is legit. Everybody talks about Rooney. Well, we know that unfortunately it's a good movie, but the Rooney story is riddled with holes thanks to Joe Montana. But listen, it's like I don't even know who else has accomplished that with so many roadblocks. Absolutely incredible.
And now
Brandon,
he's
go ahead.
an analyst.
Yeah. It's I mean, my God, dude. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I can't argue with any of that. Mine's just a callback to last week and proof why you don't need to waste your number one draft pick on a
Okay.
kicker when you got Adam Vinatieri just hanging around.
Okay. Very
Yep.
good. Yep. A great player. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, great list, everybody. Great number ones, great top five this week.